Okay, hello. So we're going to look at a demo of how to use ChatGPT. And in this case, we're going to use it to have a conversation around a learning activity for a grade 6 class. And it's a writing activity. So, really, you can look at ChatGPT. It is a text-based AI tool. But, think of it as having a conversation. It's not one-sided. You do need somebody to be prompting and asking questions. So this is just an example of how you can use this tool and go about you for instructional design. Okay, so logging into ChatGPT, and I've already saved. You can see on the left-hand side here, you can save different conversations. I'm going to use that. And these conversations you can save, you can print. So I've already used one called Grammar Tips for Writing. So let's take a quick look. We'll go all the way up to the top of this conversation. So the very first thing that started this conversation was we have a group of grade 6 students, and I've captured some writing. Here is some writing from a grade 6 student. So I'm going to start with that. So, the very first question is write as a teacher. I'm identifying a role in the style of writing that I want ChatGPT to write in. So write as a teacher, and then I want to correct the grammar of the following students' writing, identify what grade they're in, and then provide some recommendations on how they can improve their writing. So ChatGPT returns, okay, as a teacher, this is all of the content generated by the AI, okay, ChatGPT. So as a teacher, I'd like to commend you for sharing your thoughts. That's always, it's nice that personalizes it a little bit, I suppose. I've noticed some grammatical errors in your writing, so let me help you correct them and provide recommendations to improve your writing. Now, one of the challenges with ChatGPT that critics present is that it can depersonalize feedback to students. This is just always a starting point. It's encouraged for faculty or educators to look at feedback, but then add something to it that's more personalized, and that can help connect the educator with the student. So don't just copy and paste, feedback from ChatGPT without going through it and then personalizing it as you feel is necessary. Nevertheless, so first of all, they correct the paragraph with proper grammar. Okay, so you can review that as an educator and make sure you're comfortable. And whether or not you want to provide that to the student, you may want the student to correct it. Nevertheless, it does present it because I asked for it. Then it talks about some points on how to correct your grammar. And then it gives a little blurb on how to improve your writing. So one of the things that I jumped on when I was looking at this, how to improve your writing, is use more descriptive words. So my next question is rewrite the following grade 6 students' writing. That's the same writing we had before. Use proper grammar, but I also want you to use descriptive words. Okay, so ChatGPT returned, okay, so here's the writing, and they included grammar with descriptive words. So then they talked about in this rewritten paragraph, they've included more descriptive words and used proper grammar to make it clear and engaging. Okay, well, that's fine. So then I said, you know what, I think I want students to really learn on how to introduce more descriptive words. I'm going to go on a little bit deeper into that angle. So then I said, provide some examples of grade 6 level sentence of a grade 6 level sentence with no descriptive words, and then rewrite the sentence with descriptive words. Okay, let's see what it does. Great. It's happy to provide some examples. Example 1, the car drove down the street with the descriptive words, the sleek red sports car zoomed down the narrow cobblestone street. There's a lot of descriptive words there, but you can see you can generate some examples. Now, one of the things that you can do every time you ask a question is you can regenerate a response so it can just continually add more and more and more responses. Okay? So these would be examples that I can now provide students. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper. So provide a grade 6 lesson. So now I'm looking at an entire lesson on the use of descriptive words. Then create a 10-question multiple choice quiz with answers and show the correct answer with explanation. That's a lot. Let's see what it returns. So first off, grade 6 lesson using descriptive words to enhance writing. It gives an objective, identifies materials, walks me through the procedure of what this lesson could look like, and then it actually creates my quiz questions. Okay, so here's some questions. There's an answer. It gives a little explanation if I wanted that. Now, as an educator, what I can do, I can jump on this quiz questions a bit. I can say include 4 answers. I can add more questions. The other thing I can do is as soon as I get my quiz questions generated here and I'm happy with them, is I can open up Kahoot and insert my questions into Kahoot. And now I have a game based activity that I can introduce either for homework as an activity that they can do before an upcoming course or class, or I can do it at the end of a class, either individual games or as a group game. So these are my questions I could feed right into a Kahoot game. So then I was just curious. So I said, how about we test ChatGPT a bit? So using the Azure model for lesson planning, write a lesson for a grade 6 class on using descriptive words. Okay, so ChatGPT went through the Azure model, analyzed my learners, identify state objectives. Of course, I can go back as an educator and add some localized or relevant content because it's obviously not going to know what state I'm in. If I was in a specific state with, a set of standards, I could even in my question say, create this lesson plan based on the standards from this particular state. It's always important as the educator when you're having this conversation is to make sure you're verifying the accuracy of the information. ChatGPT loves to please, but doesn't always have the right answers. So, you do have to double check and be that layer of accuracy, right? You're checking that. So again, here's my Azure lesson plan, utilize my media and materials, require learner participation, and then evaluate and revise. Okay, summary of that lesson. So that was pretty neat. So the last thing I'm going to do in this demo, just because again, we're having a conversation back and forth, is I'm going to say, considering the previous lesson that you just created, use the SAMR framework for technology integration and describe how you can integrate technology at the modification stage. So ChatGPT returns at the modification stage of the framework. Technology is integrated in a way that allows for significant redesign of the learning task with the goal of enhancing the learning experience. So, it understands the context of what I'm asking it to do. So then it goes, well, one way to integrate technology, at this modification stage on the lesson using descriptive words. Could be to incorporate digital tools that allow for multimedia creation and collaboration. So students could use tools like Canva, Google Drawings. They could create infographics or visual representations of their paragraphs. They can also use those descriptive words. They can also use collaboration platforms like, they can use Google Docs and Padlet to facilitate collaborating with their peers. And they can work in real time to provide revisions and edit each other's work and provide feedback. So it presents a few different ideas of how you can insert technology at that modification stage for this lesson. So this absolutely is a dynamic two-way conversation. As an educator, it is an opportunity for you to explore and different creative options and kind of help you provide that structure to a lesson. And, you can certainly do this in a group or a team of facilitators, but you can also do it individually with your ChatGPT friend. So thank you. There's a demo of using ChatGPT for the construction of a lesson.